Carry yours.
Either, that's fine. Okay.
Carry yours.
Either, that's fine. Okay. Good afternoon, evening, good morning, everyone. This is JacQueline with Intuition Power and my friend Stuart Elliott from JacQuaeline, China, and with CoachStuart.com. How are you today, this morning?
This morning, I'm good. Hopefully, you're the same. I'm a little bit older than you because we are ahead. Because for
Right,
you, it's Thursday. For me, it's Friday.
right. Yeah, I see the future.
Yeah, you're talking to the future. I'm talking in the past.
That means you have tomorrow's news today.
Yep, for you, yeah. Whatever that news is, but I don't tend to follow the news because most of it is depressing.
For sure.
Mm.
Okay, so what is our topic tonight?
Well, I think it's something that a lot of people experience in life. And one of the expressions that they tell themselves or they ask themselves is this all there is to life? And the topic is getting stuck. People get stuck in routines. They get stuck in this, they get stuck in that. And it can continue for many, many, many years, if not for the whole life. And some people, they get stuck just like, you would do in a car sometimes if you're on the sandy beach. But then you find a way out. Whereas
Hopefully,
other people, they give up or they
right.
they just stay there.
Yeah, and
So it's go
with
on.
with it, like if somebody has a car that's stuck, a lot of
Mhm.
people are qualified to fix it themselves. For me, I just
Mhm.
call AAA and I get help coming in. It's like,
Yeah,
how can you do it? Fix it for me.
but
Uh,
what the thing is, you found who the people who can help you are,
right. There
and
was a
that's a
time
big
that
difference.
I rented a car in Hawaii in one of the islands, and my friend that I was with said, "Oh, let's go park there overnight on the beach." And so she grabbed the thing and drove it onto the beach, and then we got stuck on the
Mhm.
beach. So
Yeah.
up the road, we found people the next day to help dig us out, and 'cause we didn't have AAA
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, well, I mean, when I was living in South Africa, we traveled into Botswana with, those were in the days before cell phones where you had a compass and a paper map. So
Right.
it's a few years ago, but we're in the middle of the Kalahari Desert, and we had a challenge with the alternator, and the battery was flat,
Oh my
so we
God.
couldn't get started. So we had to wait in the middle of nowhere on on basically sand. And then eventually, if many hours later, somebody was coming and he had lots of jerry cans on. He was going to get petrol from one of the towns about 100 miles away or something. So he got fuel. And then we said, can you give us a push? And he looked at us as though we were stupid. What, in this soft sand? How can I push you? But he did jump start the car for us, and we were okay to get going again. But we couldn't stop and switch off the engine until we got to the main town, which was quite a way away. But yeah, we were stuck. We just had to wait because there was nothing we could do. We couldn't do it on our own,
Right.
and that's what some people stay that way for the rest of their lives.
Right. And sometimes it's ego, sometimes it's what keeps people from, sometimes people just don't know that there's help available.
They don't know yet. They're living someone else's life that has been pushed on them by their family or by the society they live in. Another one is self-worth keeps people stuck. They don't think they're good enough, and they just have to accept what they're doing. I mean, if you think of it, another big reason is the fear of the unknown. Many abusive relationships, one of the partners, generally the woman, stays there because they know what to expect. It's not that they're happy, but they're stuck in that relationship until it gets too much. And then the fear of what's going to happen to them pushes them past that barrier of what it's like on the unknown. And then they start thriving
So I think
because
I call that a separation of spirit to source. Because
Mhm.
if you have no matter what religion people are in, I think as if they believe in a higher power, whatever that might be, that if that energy is loving and hopefully it is whatever you believe in, then it's going to be there to support you. But we forget that we're spiritual beings having a human experience, and we forget to call on to trust. We just have lack of trust.
Yeah, and with the intuition side, how many people actually really believe that intuition is real and trust whatever messages they're getting?
Well, it depends on if that's before my class or after my class.
Well, there you are. You see, that's why people need to talk to you. But before the class, many people don't even recognize it, and then we have the label of coincidence that is put on it, and that's not a very good label at all, is it?
Coincidence or synchronicity. And to me, that's the beginning step of recognition that it exists and that maybe I have it. I remember I had I used to have a lot of coincidences when I was younger. And one real quick story is I moved to New York for, I think I was 18 years old, 19 years old. I'm just going to be there for a few months, get a job, save us some money to come back to Los Angeles, get an apartment, and continue. And because I could stay with my grandparents and save some money. So that was the goal. And the economy was down. The everybody, don't go, you can't get a job. I got the first job interview I went on. The lady gave 6 months notice. They were looking for someone for 3 months. They hired me on the spot. And it was just a perfect connection. So now I'm going to work my first day, took a bus, then had to go to a train. The train went on over the river and landed on the first thing. And I was going to go up Manhattan to my job, to the station. And as we got over the river, screech, 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 the doors open over the intercom, and everybody leaves. And I'm sitting there waiting for the train to continue. I don't know what's going on. And this lady comes in and says, the train has derailed. It's not going anywhere. Come on out. So I'm going, where am I? I was downtown. So we had telephone booths then. So wait online for the telephone, and I have the phone number and address. So I'm talking to my boss and I said, I'm not sure where I am. I'm on my way. However, I'm going to be late. And this lady grabs the phone. She'll be okay. We'll get her there. We need the phone. So she said, come with me, because she heard where I was going. So I get on the bus with her. We're going uptown. And I said, I have one friend that moved to New York about a year and a half ago. And we're chatting back and forth. And she said, what's your friend's name? And I said, Barbara, blah, blah. And she goes, what? Barbara, blah, blah. From Santa Monica? I said, yes, she's my boss. I mean, you can't make this stuff. I mean, you could make this stuff up, but I couldn't make this stuff up. So the synchronicities of just being in the right place at the right time to say those words to this lady that was helping me out, that happened to be working for my friend who I couldn't contact because I lost track of her. So, I mean, the intuition, being in the right place, the right time, saying, doing the right things. I've always lived that, and a lot of other people do. But when they stop and start to take some classes and explore what it is, how it works, things get even more wild and more amazing.
Yeah, and it shows you what powers we have, which we don't realize, and they often stay latent until something serious happens in our life, if at all.
Right,
And
but
it's a shame, isn't it?
one of the keys to getting it better in my classes, and that's why you're talking to me, is clearing out the filters, clearing out the distortions, untruths, history that we've grown up with that defies or denies that part of us that says, trust that. So how do you do it? with your clients?
Well, again, it's so easy if you're having a conversation with somebody who feels stuck to keep them there, because they're so practiced at reliving this stuckness and keeping it going and going and going. And I think one of the best ways is to ask them, well, okay, well, what would you like instead? And get them to start thinking of possibility, and then matching, what possibility means in their life, the things that they've achieved and you never thought was possible, but it was possible. And that takes them away from that inner program that's running round and round and round and keeping them trapped. And along the way, you could find out that they've got self-worth issues because of something that happened in childhood. And it's nothing to do with them, but it happened. Like, there was a gentleman who I was on a call with. He was quite high up in this company, and he couldn't give speeches, but that was part of his job. He couldn't get on stage. Why? Because in his school, when he was about 5 years old, his teacher said, "Okay, you've got to give a presentation now in front of the class. No preparation time, no warning," and he froze. And the whole school laughed sorry, the whole class laughed at him. The teacher even laughed at him. And then he ran away, and he's carried that with him for most of his life. But he didn't realize that was the cause. And these things happen to us, throughout our life, our childhood especially. And we latch onto them and we make them real.
Right.
One of the big phrases, I can't.
There was a friend of mine from that New York experience. Years later, we kept in touch, and he would have meetings in Los Angeles, and we'd stop and have a brunch or something. And so one day he came in and he says, "I'm becoming an alcoholic." And I said, "What are you talking about?" He goes, "Well, for some reason, I can't get on a flight now without drinking. And then I drink the whole flight, and then I get off. I'm getting to the place where I have to fly in a day early because I have to clear myself out in order to get to the meeting." And he says, "I don't know why I'm drinking that badly, but I can't get on a plane anymore." And I said, "Have you read anything about car crashes? Have you experienced anything, lost anyone, been on any bad flights?" All these questions. And he goes, "No, no, 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 I can't think of anything. There's nothing. It just all of a sudden happened." Well, I ended up talking him into what you do. I do taking him into a little hypnosis session. And within, I would say, 4 minutes, all of a sudden he goes, "Oh my God, what he forgot and blocked out when he went into the military." He was in the Air Force, and right out of boot camp, the first thing that happened was the first day that he was on the Air Force tarmac at the airport there was a plane crash, and they sent him into the wreckage to pull out the burned dead bodies. He completely forgot about it, and something, who knows what, triggered in that unconscious, subconscious memory, and he couldn't handle it, but he couldn't recognize where it was coming from.
Yeah. And we're very good at blocking out these horrific memories.
Right. And the whole session ended up being like 20 minutes, 30 minutes with the debrief and everything. And he was able to, then I was able to shift it and help him release it and keep the memory without the
emotions
emotional attachment, the smells, the sounds, all of that stuff. It's still in there, but it's disconnected, so he could look at it, see it, remember it without the emotional charge. And when he got back, he says, "Yeah, I'm fine now. I'm back to my old self, and thank you so much."
Yeah, I mean, it's wonderful. And what is remarkable is, as you say, the speed. I mean, I had a gentleman with the fear of flying. He to this day, he doesn't know why, but it took about 15 minutes for him to release it. He just stopped and looked at me as though he was crazy. I was crazy. He said, "I don't know what happened, but I'm not scared of flying anymore. I want to get on the plane now." Just like that. Ping.
Right. I want to get
So,
there.
we have these abilities, and if we have the right people to work with, we can trigger the right things to put them away so they're not coming back to us and controlling our lives.
Yeah. It's a power. There are so many powerful tools of consciousness. I've studied a lot of them, and uh,
Mhm.
I don't I don't use a lot of them because there's so many, and I do my work on training people to develop their intuition. But if you can think of anything that you're limiting yourself with, or feel limited by, or fear of, I want to get a better job, I really want to make a transfer to either another department or another company, because the people that I have to work with, or my boss is this way, I can't uh, function happily in this place.
Mhm.
If you're stuck, then contact Stuart. You
Mhm.
can contact me also. But Stuart right now has a calendar which you can access right now and have a complimentary session with him.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
think it's an exchange for a like testimonial. If you
Yeah, I mean, we just give you what you need, and you can give me something of value like that, and
right, so
that's the way it goes. But there's only a few sessions available,
right.
so if you come and they're all booked up, maybe come back again in a week
But
later.
you don't want
Let's see
to
if
pay.
you're free.
So
Yeah, but
it's
the thing is, we have phenomenal abilities hidden inside ourselves, every single person. And sometimes it takes a conversation with someone like you, or a conversation like me, or a life-threatening incident. I mean,
right,
we've heard of women whose child has been trapped underneath a car. They just go up and they pick the damn car up. How? But they
right,
do it because they have that need.
right.
So
Ask for
it's much
help.
better to have the conversation with JacQueline rather than have to pick up the car.
Right. So have a session with me. I'll do a precognition of saying, when and what may happen, and then have a session with Stuart. So you
Yeah.
clear the subconscious and empower yourself. So it's all about empowering. And so I want to thank you for sharing your time and wisdom with us today. Any
It's my pleasure.
tip for somebody other than calling you and having a conversation?
Just realize that, the words I can't are like switching off the light. It's nighttime and you say I can't, you switch off the light, then you're in the dark. But if you take away the apostrophe T, I can, you put the light on. Sometimes we have to find out the exact way to do it, but we limit ourselves with I can't so often. And if you want to take away the sting of I can't, if you said it, just add on yet.
I know, I was thinking that. I was going to say, she has trained me to say yet a lot.
Yeah,
Brilliant. Haven't done it yet. Can't do it
yeah,
yet.
yeah. It's a very powerful three-letter word.
It is. It is. Besides, yes.
Mm.
So if you haven't said yes yet, then say yes to the world. Energy is going crazy, everybody. Take time to meditate, to stay centered in your own higher awareness, and reach out for help. We're here for you. And Stuart
Share.
and his contact is coach at
Oh,
www.coach.com, and mine is intuitionpower.com. So we'll see
yeah.
you next week, same time, same channel.
Yeah, and don't forget to share because,
Right.
someone else may just need to hear one of the words or one of the things that we speak about to change their life for the better.
Right. And if there's a topic in particular that you would like us to chat about, give you some little insights or tips, then just put it in the chat or send us
Yep.
a little email note. Okay. Have a great
Thank you
week,
so much.
healthy, and